Welcome once again to Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. As always, I thank you for taking the time to watch my video, which hopefully you will find informative. And the book that I'm about to review for you today is one you will very seriously consider. It is The Poisoner'S Ring by Kelley Armstrong. This is published by Minotaur Press and it retails for $24.99. This was one of the most anticipated books that I have been looking forward to in 2023. It is the second book in the Rip Through Time series that Kelley Armstrong began last year. And based on that book, I was thinking, come on, hurry up, Kelley, get the book out. Well, the book's been out for a short time now. And if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't read the first book, you definitely have to pick this book up. Now, it would help if you did read the original book, A Rip Through Time, because it sets the stage for what is happening in book number 2. And obviously the series is going to continue, and thank goodness. It's fascinating from day one. Mallory Atkinson lived in Vancouver. She was a police detective, and one night she heard a sound down an alley. Someone was being assaulted, so she went down, and before she knew it, it was as if she was lured there, and she finally found herself in Victorian Scotland in 1869, and she was in the body of another woman. Now, Mallory is 30 years old, but she was in the body of Catriona Mitchell, who was like a housemaid at the home of Dr. Duncan Gray, an undertaker. And so she has Catriona's body, but it is Mallory's mind. So that was fascinating to begin with. And as the second book begins, we find out that, well, she's still there, of course, and she's convinced them, who she really is, that she's come from the future. And Dr. Duncan Gray's sister, Iris Valentine, who is a chemist, she's good friends with Mallory, and she understands the situation too. But what's going on now in Victorian Scotland is a poisoner is poisoning men. And one of the victims is Lord Leslie, who is Isla's sister, Annis. And Lord Leslie is a womanizer, so people surmise that maybe Annis poisoned her husband to get rid of him because she grew sick of his antics. So she is looked on as a suspect. Now, there's Detective Hugh McGrady, who is part of the investigative unit. Now, he knows that Catriona is Mallory, so there's a very select group who knows who she is, and she tells them about different medical procedures in the future that one day that they might see in their lifetime. And she also concludes that the poison used was a heavy metal called thallium, but it has not been invented back in that time. So she talks about how it works in the body, that Mallory knows forensics top to bottom, so she's a great help in the poisoning because she gives her 21st century views to people in 1869 Victorian Scotland. So it is really an intriguing series, and we also find out that there are people who are after Mallory and Dr. Duncan Gray. So what Mallory regrets most is that she has to wear these old-fashioned corsets and petticoats and dresses that mean she can't run like she could back in, present day, because it's very constricting. So she has a little knife with her to help her out. But from top to bottom, you would find absolutely nothing negative about this book. It sets the stage. Hopefully, well, there's got to be more books because Mallory is still trapped in 1869 Victorian Scotland when the book ends. Now, that's You can call that a spoiler if you want, but you can figure out that it was not a sequel, so this will be continued. And actually, Kelley Armstrong is a Canadian author. She's created the Otherworldly series, Canesville, Rockton, and she really writes well. But this series is really the best, in my opinion, of all she's written. And it's just so fascinating with the premise of someone coming from the future in someone else's body, and will she ever get back? Because in the future, she was in Edinburgh, Scotland at the time. Her grandmother was dying of cancer, so she's back in the past, so she has no idea what's happening in present day. So this book, the second book of the Rip Through Time series, is a ripping good book. So if you're looking for an above class book, get the Poisoner's Ring. You will not regret it. And if you haven't read the first book of Rip Through Time, you read that too. That's an order. So thank you for watching my video review. Hopefully you will agree with it if you do buy the book, and I'm sure you will. So until we meet again, you guys out there, you stay safe, you stay sane, stay in touch, and I will see you at the bookstore. Bye for now.